4-key rhythm game for PC. And Paul, you can explain more while I
Okay.
play this song.
It's a fork of the old StepMania, which used to be played on feet, and then people realized, oh wait, you can play this with keys actually, and they made like this whole long-lasting, I don't know, decades-long sport of it, because it's probably I don't know if it's the most popular rhythm game, but it's the most like available and accessible one at least. And in the recent years, they made this version, which is primarily aimed for keyboard play, specifically. So even though you do see arrows, he's actually hitting the keys in his index and middle fingers both. So there's like fingers 1, 2, 3, and 4 instead of hitting the actual arrow keys. And they're split by left and right hand. So you got left and right hand, middle and index fingers in the order you'd probably expect.
Sorry, this is really laggy.
Oh yeah. Okay, so Ben's is John's right now.
I have Spotify open to close it, sorry. It's flashing, so it's making the game lag, I'm pretty sure. I'll close Discord as well, just in case. Okay.
That's it. Okay, this game doesn't like having other things open, but...
Yeah, the game doesn't like anything.
Yeah, one of the more important things in rhythm gaming is not to have the game lag ever.
Play a better song for you guys.
It gets really annoying because if the game lags, then you need to kind of catch up on what's happening. And what Ben's is doing is he's not following the arrows as they fall down. He's looking at where the combo number is, and he's never moving his eyes away from it. Here's gonna be a jump stream file, as the whole gimmick is that you press on every 16th beat for every music nerd who probably surely knows what that means. But on every 8th beat, aka every other beat, there's going to be 2 arrows at once to hit. And every other beat is 1. That's one of the main skill sets in the game. But the whole point of the focus point I mentioned earlier, aka looking in one spot, is to quickly be able to recognize patterns, as the game isn't so much about memorization or even reacting to what's happening, as much as it's just transmitting information from your brain to your hands. Like, you wouldn't be able to like individually pause exactly which arrows are coming down, you just recognize like which patterns are coming down. Oh, it's called jump stream. Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, it doesn't really matter, but it's called jump stream because in OG StepMania you'd have to hit both legs down. So it's a jump. Kind of. There's also hand stream because you would hit 3 notes at once. So you need like both legs and hand. And they kept all the terms here. So those are hands, those 3 notes at once. Also, you might think that, oh well, isn't this a mashing game? Whoa, but it's not, because Ben's is playing on a Ben's is playing on a tighter judgment window, which means that hitting the notes in like perfectly, or as you can see on the side, marvelous, perfect, great, good, bad, miss, requires you to hit them in under 2 frames. Or under a frame.
Cool.
Right.
I'll play with J4 because it's really hard to play on this setup. Actually.
Oh, yeah. Ben's is John's right now that he's playing on 144 Hz normally, but it's on 60 Hz now, so.
Yeah.
It does make a difference, I would know, but yeah.
What was I supposed to play? I had a playlist in mind. I'll just
Oh, we didn't.
play this, whatever. I hope I can play it. It's not that easy. Yeah.
No?
But here you can change the settings, and this is the normal judge you have when you start playing the game, which is a bit more lenient than Judge 5. For Judge 5, it's 18 milliseconds to get marvelous or perfect. I mean, the best.
Yeah, you can see them on the side, left side under the percentage. You can see how well he hit every individual note. Or rather, with what timing window he hit him in.
And with Judge 4, it's 22 milliseconds, I think.
I actually don't know.
And pretty much everything that is not flawless will lose you points. But perfect is still okay.
Yeah, this game uses a really funny, non-arcadey, more like realistic accuracy system where it's borderline impossible to get 100% because it'll count the accuracy in terms of like how many milliseconds away you are from hitting the perfect point, which means any single deviation will make it something less. And that's why even though he's more or less hit everything almost perfect, he's got like 99.6% instead of 100. Whereas in normal StepMania, I think if you had like Marvelous and Perfect, then you would still have 100%. And in most arcade games you do, obviously. So. It's a bit difficult to pause what he's doing here, but that's what I mean by it's just the recognition game of patterns. So something funny that's probably not visible here, but is happening is that he's hitting the same note, the same finger down multiple times at once while the others are moving, which is really technical and difficult to do, as you can probably see from what just happened.
Yeah, that was a CB rush, known as combo break rush. It's really hard to get back from them. You mispress something and then everything just goes badly.
Yeah, usually CB rushes happen when you hit early and then because everything else will be hit early too, unless you adjust that specific finger to hit late eventually, which you probably won't. Then you'll just rush that finger.
We can probably analyze it from this. Let's
Yeah.
see. Well, I don't know. I was just hitting late because it's impossible to read. But yeah. Well, yeah. Then I started hitting early, and it was pretty hard to recover from that.
Yeah, for reference, you can see top right Ben's old scores. So.
Well, yeah, you can see all of my settings from here, I guess, and you can see my accuracy percentage from here, and here you can see how well I hit, and just here are all the stats.
Yeah, for a new player, there's a lot of like overwhelming information, but it's all useful too. So.
Yeah. Useful information to get better at the game. Pool, do you have any recommendations?
Deo.
There.
Okay. There's a more wonderful. There's a more expressive charting. So StepMania entirely consists of user-made content. It's not an official game of any sort. So the community has made files for it for 10-ish years at least, probably more. I don't know when it released actually. And you might notice immediately that this doesn't follow the music entirely perfectly. And the whole, this is a somewhat recent phenomenon, but it's very fun. And what they're doing here is, instead of making it so that on every single individual sound or beat it would have a note, they're making patterns that match the sounds that happen in the song. So when they go Deo, Deo, you might notice that the streaming patterns go side to side. And it's to make your fingers do the similar noise that the singer makes. So it's like, yeah, and then you go drrr. I mean, it sounds funny, but it is a lot of fun to play too. That's why they make these kind of things. The other issue is that when you start CP Rush, the other issue is like when you start like exclusively trying to follow the songs and not doing, this, then eventually you're gonna hit a limit on what kind of songs you can play unless you start playing like wall noise or something to keep it more interesting. So that's why the community kind of got creative with what they're doing to make the game more enjoyable, both in like how high of a skill level they can play in, and also the songs they can play.
What is happening?
This kind of patterning actually makes a lot more sense if you could hear his keyboard or even go in-game and use like note tick or something, note tick being able to hear the individual notes.
Gonna fail out real soon. You can see my life bar at the top left, I guess. Yeah. Hopefully I don't fail out. It's extremely hard to play with this setup. But it's fine.
Yeah. Anything that's on your home setup is gonna be really annoying to play with, but you do your best.
Oh my.
Thanks, Venom.
Thank you a lot, Venom. Okay, I guess I'll just take some more simple stuff because that kind of stuff is really hard to read right now. As Paul said, I'm used more frames per second having on the screen.
Yeah. Also, you might have noticed that that song had a lot more colors go into it, and that's because it doesn't perfectly follow the song, so they took more liberties with the kind of like snaps they can use, aka where the notes can be placed in terms of the rhythm. And this game does that funny thing where, depending on which beat the note is on, it'll change the color of it. So, if you do something like 48, which not a lot of songs do, but that file did, then you get greens and stuff. Not a wholly common color. The most of the colors you will see like a lot of players play are these three. And especially if there's like a million colors, then what's gonna happen is that you, instead of really understanding the rhythm, because like this is super straightforward in terms of like what rhythm you have to press in. But if you have a lot of colors on the screen, then you'll have to visually read what time to press the note in. There's a stream file. So before we saw mostly jump streams, which I mentioned are doing 2 notes at once, every other note. But this is straight notes. You do, for the most part, just single notes every 30-second beat. And this allows for you to go way faster than with, I guess, jump stream patterns or most anything else. If it's only a single note per finger at a given time, even if it's like 300 BPM, it's still very much doable. And this is 260, I think, yeah.
And also about playstyles, this is a really awkward playstyle for me, because personally, I play wrist up, which Paul can explain, I guess.
Okay.
Go for it.
Rhythm gaming is a highly physical sport, and...
It is, actually.
Who did It is. No, but like, you need to take care of your body to actually do well, because a lot of people at the top have like constant nerval breakdowns and nerval damage or whatever. And one of the top players, like, recently, well, not recently, but like 2 years back, broke his entire arm. But point is, you have different playstyles depending on how you position your hands, and I think Benza right now is doing wrist down.
Yeah.
Which means having your wrists down, sitting down, resting down on the desk while you hit the keys. And he usually plays wrist up, which means having your wrists lifted up. But then Benza also has arm rests instead. I wonder if that shows him kind of does. Where he has his resting point. Or you can do like a completely wrist up, which is all your arm up. But that's like very, very exhausting for your hands to keep them up and also hit down. There are benefits doing wrist up or wrist down. Most top players use wrist up because you can start doing things like rotating your hand. Whereas if you had it slammed to a table, it's not as easy to do. But that means you kind of like exchange the fact that you can't hit up or down as easily because it requires more power from your hand. So when it's wrist down instead, what you can do is like freely just like flick your wrist up and down without caring about the rest of your arm at all. So it's like super easy, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Put your judge on Justice. I cannot play that. There's no way I can do that. So yeah, Justice is the highest judge, which is judge 9 basically. And there's absolutely no way I'll be able to do that. It is so unbearable. I'm like... How tight is it? It's like 5 milliseconds,
No clue, but only a few people in the world are able to like get anything with it.
There's like one guy, or maybe 2 guys who can actually play with Justice, and that's mostly like one song that they can play. That they've played like 10 billion times.
They can only play like consistent BPM songs.
What else should I play? Should I show some different play styles? I mean, like categories.
Yeah, do chord jacks. Ooh.
No, I'm not playing that. I can show
What do you do
Ascore.
wrist down? Okay.
I'll just play them 0.0 because my hands are not feeling great today.
Alright.
I mean, he just benched the right of the song.
Oh yeah. Do you have the mic? Oh yeah, there's a rate you can see at the bottom. Now I'm just playing 1.0. But yeah, you can speed it up by 10% increasements.
Yeah. You can also
or
do
even
5%.
Yeah, 5%.
Oh yeah, one thing we didn't talk about because I think a lot of people don't really care about it anymore, but this game has a rating system for difficulty, which makes it very easy to like find things your skill level. It's at the bottom left right now. This is a 20, whereas Benza is normally a 30 rated player. It's really nebulous to like explain what the number means to anybody who doesn't know, so you kind of just have to play the game. But you get points for like beating higher rated songs and also how accurately you play them, and that consists your player rating then. It has that just to, you know, kind of give you an idea of what kind of things you should be playing and what kind of things you should be aiming for. And rating up makes the song faster, so you can use that to like play old files and not have to rely on like somebody making 400 pp streams for no reason. And instead you can speed songs up and kind of like enjoy them indefinitely, as high as possible. Oh yeah, you can also slow them down. So you can play like patterns that are meant for higher level players at a speed that you are comfortable with, so you can learn just how to get the muscle memory down for understanding how it works.
Oh god, I have to stretch my hands a bit. They're not feeling great in that position. But yeah, reminder to stretch your hands when you play this game. You don't want to get injured.
Okay, these are core jacks as I mentioned before. These are like... Well, Benza has the benefit of doing the wrist down player style right now, so...
Not a benefit for me.
Because he doesn't
I'm
know
not using it.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to use it. Anyway, point is that he's doing jacks, aka moving your hand up and down, either your wrist or I guess... Well, yeah, mostly your wrist. Or in some cases your arm. Up and down, and it's not really so much reliant on your fingers as it's reliant on your wrist and arm. And coming up are patterns, so you can tell that he doesn't mash the same arrow all the time in rhythm, and instead he has to sometimes let go of it. But it's not as easy as just like kind of like stopping. It's still demanding because sometimes like when you move from like when you have to let go of a finger, the other finger might have to start mashing now. I say mashing because it's like easy to understand for new players, but jacking. So it's a really tricky process of having to keep a rhythm on your wrists or arm, and then also changing your fingers accordingly.
Thank you. Okay. Well, yeah. As Paul said, here you can see the ranking that you got from the score. That was a low score. It's a 21 only. Which is not much for me, but it might be much for someone else. I don't know. And yeah, I guess I can show my profile. You can see all the different stats from here. Like, I'm pretty balanced player, I guess, except my core jacking because I don't care about it. I don't have all of my files in this, but it's much more balanced, trust me. Come watch my stream. Like an actual player. I guess I can play something from the new pack that was recently released. And it has few of my files and Paul's files as well.
This one, yeah.
Yeah. I won't be able to play that file for sure.
Yes, it's too hard.
I can try to play my file. Oh, actually, it's both. We did it together.
Oh, yeah.
I hope I can play it. How much do you need to play per day to get to your level? Pretty much daily. And 2 hours a day. And what I did, I played like 3 to 5 days per week. That's what I did pretty much, and I got really good with that strategy.
You don't want to overexert yourself though, so don't think you can go playing literally every single day for like 8 hours or something.
Yeah, don't exceed 2 hours. That's like a proper amount you want to have each session.
At a lower level, you might be able to, but I wouldn't recommend it. Either way, like, even if your hands don't give up, which it probably will, your mind's gonna give out, and there's no reason to like keep pushing for scores you're not gonna get anyways. So just go for the next day instead. Also, you want to take care of like how you play too. So you don't really want to play when you're super tired. Like there's absolutely no point because you're not gonna get anything done. You don't want to play when your hands are messed up because you'd rather hurt them further. Your health is like the primary most important thing in improving the game.
Yeah, you want to have some different routines for every session, I guess. My routine was just eat before I play, eat well, and then I can play really well.
Yeah.
That worked for me.
You don't need to work out or anything, but it would be preferable if you did. No pressure.
Yeah, you can jack probably better, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. There's like whole science done on it, but I think like most of the top players even care.
And if you're wondering how long I have been playing, I've been playing for like 2 years, but I had a year break pretty much because I was in military service and whatnot. Wasn't too keen to play the game. Takes a lot of effort to DRS in this game. And yeah, this pack is oriented on like different dumps, I'd say, and technical files. Just and
Ben
yeah,
had
those
a lot
are
of
jacks,
that, yeah.
if you didn't know. And they're hurting my hand a lot.
From the bottom, you can tell that small number is 136. It means BPM.
Oh yeah, goddammit. That was not that actually, not that bad. But yeah, you can see the peak note per second on the left as well. You can see how fast I'm playing. Yes.
Notes per second is probably more easier to understand for anybody who doesn't know the game, but mostly we use BPM to kind of estimate how fast you're doing things.
Oh, this is a great shot. I wanna play. Minty fresh pack, yes.
Yeah, it's a recent
Best
community
pack
effort.
ever made. Go play.
Not necessarily for new players, but but it's for the community anyways.
Oh yeah, those were called rolls. Not sure if you saw that, but
Yeah.
they're kind of like holes, but you need to keep tapping at the same time.
They're not really widely used, but they do come up.
Oh.
Here's some noodles. Holds in this game aren't as punishing as in other games you'd probably expect. You can kind of let go early and doesn't really care.
There was another roll. You can probably tell the difference. At least I cannot tell them too easily on my monitor. It's so dark. And I'm not sure if you've seen any mines, but there are like those gray dots all over the place.
If you hit a mine, you take a hit on your accuracy. It's like a miss, I think. And the only way to hit him is to have the key down as the mine is hitting that key.
There were some mines.
Yeah, in between. Also, this is what I mentioned before with the colors, is that if once it starts being rainbows, you have to start reading visually when to hit him instead of, relying on the snap colors for rhythm.
Yes.
Yes.
I need to stretch my hands a bit. But as you can see, I'm hitting pretty late, which means the screen is not good. I'm just not used yet. But yeah, I can play that song if you want. I don't have too much time left, I don't think, but I'll just play that song.
Oh, yeah, based.
If someone said it in the chat, I'll play it for you.
I think this was in your playlist anyway, so...
Not well, I guess.
Well, the one you just
It's a
played.
really good song. I like
Yeah.
it. Good job, whoever made it. At the Void, I know you made it.
Ego
So
is
this-
probably one of the
This chart is
StepMania
going to be
favorites.
extremely fast streams. It's 30 second, 180 BPM, so, well, it's not that fast actually. To me at least. It's 360 BPM streams with some difficult patterning. You'll see them in a second, but hopefully I can even read them because it's really hard to read. And how I read this game, I'm just staring at one point. I'm staring at my combo and try to read all the notes. My fingers just do all the work. I don't even think about it really.
Yeah, it's 360 BPM for...
Yeah, I can play it. Can I?
Okay, can you?
I cannot play it, sorry.
How's that not?
Well,
Beautiful.
beautiful. Thank you, Nerfrip. I'll play one more if I can. Pool, do you have something for me?
No.
No, not at all. I'll something that looks fast and cool, so I don't completely embarrass myself.
Lay your hands on me.
I'll play this. Yeah, no pool. Hopefully this doesn't look too easy to you guys, because
I was sick the first few days. But
I'll play this, and this is just basic easy jump stream. But it's the only thing that I can really read it now, with 60 Hz monitors. Everything.
think there was a jump to it. Whoa. There's no real reason, like, telling you what these things are, because a lot of these patterns are things that flash by in, like, just, I don't know, 0.2 seconds or whatever.
I cannot read this. I'm confused. I give up.
Okay.
I just couldn't play it.
There's
But
a
yeah,
million anchors
anyway.
there.
Oh god. No, not again. That's 30 minutes, I hope. Whatever.
25.
35.
25.
Yeah, if you want to see proper gameplay by me, just watch my stream, follow my stream. Play corn and beans. I'll just actually, well, yeah, I'll just plug my stream. Go watch it if you want to see proper gameplay. I cannot play too well here. But yeah, thank you.